Welcome back to the Meeple Marathon. Today we're going to be taking a look at Pandemic Hot Zone. This is the start of day 2 for my Shame Week, where I am playing through all of the games in my collection that I have been sitting on my shelf for a while and I've yet to actually play even once. So Pandemic Hot Zone North America is basically like a shrunk down version of Pandemic. But in the end, I did not make that decision, and we ended up losing on that. But either way, that was Pandemic Hot Zone North America. I do like that this game played much faster than Pandemic. It really didn't feel like I was losing that much more. And looking at it, when the board comes out, it feels like that it's a little less in production value, but really everything is there. I'm not a super huge fan of the small cards, but at the end of the day, actually, I'm okay with them. Normally, I'm not a huge fan of small cards, but here I'm okay with them because you really don't need them to be huge, and they just don't take up a lot of board space and space in front of you. So I am actually okay with this. I may want to try it a couple more times here to see whether this is, would be replacing Pandemic. I don't feel like I need both. So the question is, is this better for solo play than regular Pandemic? And I'm actually kind of leaning this way and getting rid of normal Pandemic because this gives me my Pandemic fix with, in a smaller time frame and easier to handle when it comes to solo play. So today we're going to be playing through Albion's Legacy. This is it's not a legacy game, but it is by Lynn Vander and published by Jasco Games. And they have a whole legacy series that really kind of takes you into the worlds of some of the most iconic literary figures. Some of these figures are actually steeped in history, like King Arthur. So we are going to be covering, as part of Shame Week, Albion's Legacy as well as Neverland Legacy. Both games are ones that I was interested in and have probably been on my, pile of shame the longest, in that I picked them up. I even did some unboxings for them, and then really just have never gotten around to playing them. I think part of the problem for this one in particular, and I think Neverland's Legacy was always just sitting underneath this one, was the rule book. The rule book actually was one of the first ones when I decided I was going to do Shame Week that I started to review again, and even still just now, prior to getting ready to do my first playthrough, was rereading it again and touching on some things. So it's not a very well done rule book. I feel like it is misorganized, in my opinion. Most of the information appears to be there, but we'll see. I feel like I'm missing something at the end of the day. But All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap up day 2 of Shame Week. We did a little bit better today. We actually got through Pandemic Hot Zone North America, Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion, and Albion's Legacy. Albion's Legacy took actually about as long as expected. It did, we played it till the bitter end. You can see how ridiculous. I can't even back up far enough to get our entire realm in. And we just ran out of time, ran out of rounds. You can see I flipped them over, and the very last tile that we would have picked up is one of the ones that we needed to get our 5th character out there. But with the last round, I had the Lady of the Lake and Lancelot, each with a person in hand ready to escort. But again, I still would have had to find that realm tile and get an escort to it. So this one was interesting. I feel like some things that were annoying. I failed a lot of rolls, used up a lot of destiny tokens, but I did like how there is a story with essentially a quest you need to complete, but then these coins that you need to gain too. And I basically started ignoring all of these threats out here in order to try and explore more. So I easily would have gotten 9 coins if I had put my money to it. But that's another thing, is that this whole needing certain tiles to come out is a complete game of chance, and you easily could just end up not drawing the tiles. So I think I'm definitely going to give this one another shot. And we'll see whether this one's a keeper or not. I'm kind of on the fence with Albion's Legacy at the moment, but we are going to call it a night here. Unfortunately, I was hoping to have caught back up to my 3-day average and get ahead because I only got 2 yesterday, and we hit our average right on the nose, so that's okay. Hopefully we can continue keeping up with 3 a day the rest of the week. So we will see you guys tomorrow for day 3 of Shame Week.